Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Miles, and this is Adult Conversations with Miles, the Miles Appeal Show. So, said I was coming on at 8. I had to finish up something, so that's why I had to push it back a little bit. So I was coming on at 9:30, but I got on about my usual time of 9, but I'm thinking of changing it to 8. I think 8 o'clock is a little bit better. If I get long-winded and the conversation goes good, sometimes it can be after midnight, so really been thinking about changing the time to 8 o'clock, but it's another Tuesday. We've got to give thanks to the Most High for allowing us to see another day, another Tuesday. Um, I'd like to say thank you to all my new subscribers. Hit the like button. Start off. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. But I'd like to thank all my new subscribers that I got over the last week. Um, Pushing me closer to my today 2,000 subscribers. I've been doing this for 2 years and 2,000 subscribers. That's a good thing to me. But yeah, shouts out to all the subscribers. But Diddy, like whoa, was arrested last night and indicted. And I got a buddy that works in the criminal arena who sent me the 14-page indictment. So we're gonna go through this indictment. Hey Jeanette, hey Pontoon, how's everybody? Hey ladies, how y'all doing tonight? But yeah, I have the 14-page indictment right here, and we're gonna go through this because it's crazy. It's really crazy everything that they put in this indictment. And we're also going to talk about who did Diddy make mad? Who did Diddy piss off? No, because he pissed somebody off, and it's obvious. But who did Puffy, Puff Daddy, P Diddy, Diddy, Love? Who did he piss off? He pissed off somebody. Because somebody is going extremely hard at him. Extreme. Shouts out to everybody that's watching on Facebook. I have been leaving Facebook off, and I had been leaving Facebook off and not, you know, watching the feed and responding to the comments there, but I'm going to have to change that because the Facebook the Facebook broadcast from Thursday got 500 views. So I have to stay live on Facebook from now on because yeah, y'all showed out. So I'm going on. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna be paying attention to Facebook feed going forward. I'm gonna leave it on. But how do you all feel about Diddy? How do y'all feel about Diddy? Oh, hey Tanya Naquika, how you doing tonight? Shouts out to M Mitchell. Shouts out to Pontoon Jody, Jeanette, YWG. It's the families in there tonight. But Jeanette said, "Oh man, I finally seen that video where he beat up Cassie. I think I watched that video. I think I may have watched it in totality one time because I really didn't want to see it again. It was crazy. It was crazy. But Puffy wouldn't even been here if he didn't have so much hubris. If Puffy loved P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, wasn't so hubris in his actions, he wouldn't even be here. Cassie told him, if you give me this money, you will never hear nothing. And Puff Daddy said, you can't prove nothing on me. And Cassie called his bluff. Cassie called his bluff. But I think Cassie was just the first pebble in that avalanche. She was just the first pebble. Because after everyone saw what Cassie could do, that's when everything started coming out. That's when everything started coming out. And after that, they raided his house. His houses. They raided all three of his residences at the same time. And basically, they said they got a lot of evidence. They didn't really say what evidence they had, but there was speculation that basically Puffy had. Basically, his whole house was wired with microphones and cameras and whatnot, CCTV, and things of that nature. Now we know that, yeah, Puffy was a billionaire and he was doing dumb stuff. Because if you're a billionaire, why do you have AR-15s with serial numbers scratched off? That doesn't even make sense. But this indictment is crazy. And I'm going to read the first paragraph, and this is just the overview. Basically, it's United States District Court, Southern District of New York, United States of America versus Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, PD, Love, defendant. He's the only person on this indictment. To this point, he said the investigation is ongoing and there could be other people that will be added to this RICO case. It says, for decades, Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, aka PD, of the defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. 2, Sean Combs, aka the defendant, operated his business headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global, collectively the Combs business. Corporate entities in the Combs business include, among other things, record labels, a recording studio, apparel line, alcoholic spirit business, marketing agency, and the television network and media company. 3, at all times relevant to his indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. At times, Combs and others acting at his direction made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs' location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same and using intimidation and violence. 4, physical abuse by Sean Combs. The defendant was recurrent and widely known. Wow. It was recurrent and widely known. On numerous occasions for at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years, Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them. These assaults were at time witnessed by others and included one instance at a Los Angeles hotel in or about March 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, where Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave. When a member of the hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Combs' violence was also not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. This dude, Diddy, is wild. This is just the overview. I haven't even got to the actual indictment yet. So, now it's going to be more years for the gun because they're AR-15s and they have the serial number scratched off. So that makes it worse than just having a gun. Much, much worse. Wow. Jeanette said, I'm gonna call him R. Kelly Jr. since he got a lot of alias names. Yeah, he does have a lot of aliases. That he does have. They may not need a list of people due to his VHS tapes. Nah, they're gonna have to. So let me continue with the overview. 5, Sean Combs. The defendant used Combs' business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and commercial sex. Those employees include security staff, hotels, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors and other close associates acted as Combs intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of Combs' business. Wow. This is wild, y'all. It's wild. So number 6 is the Combs enterprise. From at least in or about 2008 through on or about the date of the filing of this indictment, Sean Combs, aka The defendant and others known and unknown were members and associates of a criminal organization, the Combs Enterprise or the Enterprise. Wow. Basically, they are saying that the totality of his businesses, his entire conglomerate, was a criminal organization. Like I said, who did Puffy piss off? Combs Enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, amongst other activities, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotic offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Hey, Dark Star, how you doing tonight? Wow. 7. Combs Enterprise, including its leadership, its members, and its associates, constituted an enterprise as defined by Title 18 United States Code Section 1961 4. That is a group of individuals associated, in fact, although not a legal entity. The Combs Enterprise consisted of Sean Combs, the defendant entities within the Combs business, including but not limited to Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprise, Combs Global, its individuals employed by and associated with Combs business, and others known and unknown. So basically, they are going for, even though the people aren't named yet, they're going for his employees, employed by all of his businesses, and other entities that he had, known or unknown. Wow. Who did Puff Daddy make mad? We're going to say some names when we get done. But whoever Puff Daddy made mad, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, whoever he made mad has far reach. Because they're going for anybody that was associated with Puff Daddy that they can prove was in on. So even though Puff Daddy is the only one named in this indictment, there will be others, depending on who talks and who doesn't talk. Who's going to turn? Who did Puffy make mad? And who is going to turn on who? So I'm looking at the YouTube feed. There aren't any comments. So I don't, I'm going to leave it on, but if there are some comments, I'll come back to it there. Yeah. But wow. Number 8. The Combs Enterprise constituted an ongoing organization whose members functioned as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the objectives of the Combs Enterprise. Combs Enterprise engaged in and its activities affected interstate and foreign commerce. Combs Enterprise operated in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. At all times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs was the leader of the Combs Enterprise. Number 10, Sean Combs and others known and unknown participated in unlawful and other activities related to the conduct of Combs Enterprise affairs. These individuals included certain Combs business employees, such as members of Combs security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high ranking supervisors, as well as other close associates of Combs. They're going after every. This indictment caused reverberations. They're going to be a long time. This rabbit hole is going to go deep. Wow. This is page 4. Purpose of Combs Enterprise include the following: operating a global business in the media, entertainment, and lifestyle industries, including, amongst other things, record labels, recording studio, apparel line, alcohol, spirits, marketing agency, television network, and media company. Preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing the power, reputation, and brand of Sean Combs as a musician, an entrepreneur, and figure in the entertainment industry. Enriching members and associates of the enterprise, including its leader, Combs, and in particular, those who demonstrated loyalty to Combs and willingness to conceal his crime. Wow. They are going, even though Puff Daddy's name is on this indictment is an indictment of hip hop. Because all them people that was going to Puff Daddy's parties, all the people that was going to those Puff Daddy and Jay-Z parties, they're going to be looking closely at Jay-Z. They're most definitely going to be looking closely at Stevie J. They're going to be looking closely at anybody who associated with Puff on a long-term basis. Is really going to be scrutinized. Because this is crazy. It goes back to 2008. It goes back to 2008. And anybody who has been associated with Puff Daddy between 2008 and the date of this filing is subject to be looked at and possibly charged. That's wild. That is wild. I'm going to chill out right there because, yeah, I'm going to take a pause right there and I'm going to continue from that spot. I'm going to look at some of these comments and then we're going to get back to the indictment. So, thank you, Janae. Like my jogging suit, it's a jogging suit. Polo summer line. It's the end of summer. If y'all noticed, a lot of the polo shirts I've been wearing over the summer have all had floral patterns. Polo was on some floral stuff this summer. I'm all for it. But yeah, it's the end of summer. It's almost time to put the flowers up. So this was, I didn't have to put too much thought in putting this on. Usually I put a lot of thought in what I put on, but today just sweatsuit type of day. Sweatsuit type of day. Wow. Jeanette said he beat her like she was a man, kicking and dragging her. That he did. Bud Files, hey, how you doing tonight? It's more than 5 years for that gun, most definitely. With the serial number scratched off, I think that goes up to 25. I'll have to look that up. Somebody in the chat, look that up for me. You scratch the serial numbers off of a gun, what does that change? What charge does that change? We haven't heard what Florida will do for the crimes. I mean, there's a possibility that P. Diddy could have federal charges and state charges. Don't know yet what Florida's going to do. I guess it depends on what comes out in trial as to what happened in Florida. I guess that would right now they could just sit back and just watch and see what comes out. If anything comes out about Florida, then they know where to go digging. So most likely, yeah. Rod K said, "Why does that surprise anyone?" I'm not sure, man. You know, power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. And some of this stuff that Puff Daddy was doing is absolutely crazy. I haven't got to the part yet, but they found over 1,000 bottles of Johnson and Johnson's lubrication in his house. 1,000 bottles. 1,000 bottles of lubricant. Who needs 1,000 bottles of lubricant? They must have been squirting lubricant all over the place. I would hate to be the person to have to clean up the hotel room after it was done with all the lubricant squirted all over the place. Jeanette, they are trying to take everything from this man. When I start back, they're trying to take everything. They're basically saying his umbrella company was a criminal enterprise. Everything up under his umbrella was a criminal enterprise. They're trying to take everything. They're trying to take everything, seize everything, leave him destitute and in jail. That's what they're trying to do. Might get some time for the multiple thousand bottles of booty. Wow. I don't know if he's gonna get no time about it, but that's a whole lot of lubricant. That's a whole lot of sex. 1,000 bottles of lubricant. That's a lot of sex. YWG said if he was smart, he would have put everything in his son's name. Dark Star, remember Kamala Harris is running for president. She's no different than Hillary. Okay, Dark Star. Weekend, he put almost all of his properties in his mother. And yeah, I think most of his properties are in his mom's. But his mom was a part of Combs Enterprises. So if the stuff is in her name and she was employed or whatever up under his name, then they're coming for that too. If they don't charge his mama too for being accessory. Wow. They might charge his mama. Do you think Miss Combs would? Do we think that they're going to charge Miss Combs? Pretty sure she was part of the organization. Are they going to charge her? That would be wild. M. Mitchell said, my advice to him would be that he should sleep with his butt against the wall. But he is P. Diddy. He'll probably sleep on his stomach. Wow. Wow, M. Mitchell. Wow. Wow. Dark Star said they're going to pass his behind around like ramen. Wow. But you know what? We say this, but in all likelihood, he'll probably be in PC. He'll probably be in PC. I think because of his notoriety, I don't know. R. Kelly's not in PC. R. Kelly's out in gym population singing. Yeah, I don't know. Do we think will Puff Daddy go to general population, or will he go to PC? We'll put a poll up. I'm gonna put a poll up for the first hour. And first poll tonight is: will P. Diddy get life in prison? Oh wow, yeah. Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you. In New York, Possessing a firearm with an altered or obliterated serial number can lead to serious legal consequences. Under federal law, a conviction for this offense can result in a fine and a maximum prison for scratching out the serial numbers. Okay, 5 years. Okay. Okay, we got Daffy Speaks in. What's going on, Daffy? What's going on, brother? Daffy Speaks said, hopefully there's a trust set up to offset some of the financial implications. Or, yeah, yep. I hope he has a trust set up. They can't touch the trust money. They can't touch the trust money. Darkstar said it's documented Miss Combs was a victim too. Oh, damn. They did say that Puff Daddy smacked his mama. Wow. So basically, we're going to say Puff. So basically, what they're going to say is Puff Daddy was bullying his mama. Are they going to go that low? Are they going to go that low and say Puff Daddy was bullying his mama? I mean, but if you smack your mama, I don't know what I would do if I seen somebody smack their mama. I don't think I could. Gene Deal said he saw it happen, so he told Puff Daddy if I ever see you do something like that. But I don't. I think that smack. You see somebody smack their mama. Okay, that's the end of the comments. We're gonna get back. We're gonna get back to the indictment. Preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing the power of the Combs enterprise, including the power of its leader, Combs, through violence, use of firearms, threats of violence, coercion, and verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. Fulfilling the personal desires of Combs, particularly those related to Combs' sexual gratification, including through the exploitation of women and the use of commercial sex workers. Enabling Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise to engage in unlawful acts of violence, including sexual violence. They're going to have to explain that. Sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement, to engage in prostitution, narcotics distribution, and other crimes, and concealing the commission of such acts. Securing absolute loyalty from members of the Combs enterprise, including through acts of violence and threats, and protecting Combs enterprise and its members and associates, including Combs, from detection and prosecution by law enforcement authorities through acts of intimidation, manipulation, bribery, and threats of retaliation against the individuals who witnessed the crimes committed by members and associates of the enterprise. Among the means and methods by which Sean Combs, the defendant, and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise conducted and participated in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise included the following. Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise wielded power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex acts with male commercial sex workers that Combs referred to as, amongst other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with assistance of members and associates of the Combs enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. Freak-offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial sex workers. During freak-offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep them victims obedient and compliant. Basically, he was saying they was kicking them in a sexual daze. Sometimes unbeknownst to the victims, he was roofing them. Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers. And after freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from physical exertion and drug use. He had doctors set up there to administer IVs to the attendees of his sex parties. That is wild. That's another level. That is another level. That's another level. He had doctors there to give everybody IVs because they were dehydrated from the physical exertion and drug use. Wow. Wow. Who participated in these freak-offs? Who participated in these freak-offs? It's all going to come out. People in Hollywood, they have a right to be scared if they attended of Daddy's parties. Did they stay after hours to the after party? Who didn't get invited to the freak off and got mad? Somebody wants Puff Daddy to be on the streets. Somebody wants Puff Daddy to be on. Continuing. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and other Combs business employees, facilitated the freak-offs by, amongst other things, booking hotel rooms for the freak-offs, stocking the hotels in advance with the required freak-off supplies, including controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and lighting, cleaning the hotel rooms after the freak-offs to try to mitigate room damage, arranging for travel for victims, commercial sex workers, and Combs to and from freak-offs, resupplying Combs with requested supplies, delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay for commercial sex workers, and scheduling the delivery of IV fluids. In or about March of 2024, during searches of Combs' residence in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Combs subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in freak-offs. Combs maintained control over his victims through, among other things, physical violence, promises of career opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, and by other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance, monitoring their medical records, controlling their houses, and supplying them with controlled substances. During and separate from freak-offs, Combs, amongst other things, hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims at times by their hair. These assaults often resulted in injuries that took days or weeks to heal. Combs also threatened victims' careers and livelihoods, including if they resisted in participating in freak-offs. Victims believed they could not refuse Combs' demands without risking their financial or job security, or without repercussions in the form of physical or emotional abuse. Combs also used the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating recordings that he made during freak-offs as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence of victims. I'll read that again. Combs also used the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating recordings that he made during freak-offs as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence of victims. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including Combs security personnel, at times carried firearms. On more than one occasion, Combs himself carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten others, including victims of and witnesses to his abuse. In or about March 2024, during searches of Combs' residence in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, as well as a drum magazine. The drum magazine holds 200 bullets. Members and associates of Combs Enterprise enabled Combs' control over victims by following his directions regarding financial payments to victims, advancing or suppressing the victim's career opportunities, and acquiring the controlled substances Combs used to keep victims compliant. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise at times witnessed Combs' violence towards victims or the victims' injuries caused by Combs without intervening. Instead, members and associates of Combs Enterprise helped conceal the violence and abuse by, amongst other things, assisting Combs in monitoring and preventing victims from leaving locations such as hotels or Combs' residences. They're going to go after Gene Deal too, because Gene Deal was head of Puffy's security. And he always talks about what he's seen and, different things and this, that, and other. And he has plenty of interviews that are on YouTube that are probably going to be used against him in terms of, you saw all this stuff going on. Why didn't you intervene? You knew he beat this girl up. You watched the hotel room so she couldn't leave. So they're going after everyone. In which a victim was required to remain in hiding for several days at a time to recover from injuries Combs inflicted without being publicly observed. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise also assisted Combs in locating and contacting victims who attempted to flee his abuse. Kidnapping. The kidnapping has an automatic 25 years. Kidnapping is a bad charge. When employees, witnesses to his abuse, or others threaten Combs' authority or reputation, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise engaged in acts of violence, threats of financial and reputational harm, and verbal abuse. These acts of violence included kidnapping and arson, because they're basically saying that he blew up Kid Cudi's car because Kid Cudi was dating Cassie when he left Cassie alone. Basically, he found out about it. He said something to Kid Cudi to the effect of, "Man, I'll blow your car up." And the next day, Kid Cudi's car blew up. In addition, on multiple occasions, Combs threw both objects and people, as well as hit, dragged, choked, and shoved. In addition, on multiple occasions, Combs threw both objects and people, as well as hit, dragged, choked, and shoved others. Puffy was a menace. Puffy was a menace. Puffy Combs threw both objects and people. This indictment is wild. When Combs' authority or reputation was threatened by the possibility of negative publicity or legal or law enforcement action against him, including in or about late 2023 following public allegations of Combs' crimes, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise pressured witnesses and victims, including through attempted robbery, to stay silent and not report what they experienced or knew to law enforcement. On phone calls, Combs and other members and associates of the enterprise, amongst other things, provided these victims and witnesses with a false narrative of events in an effort to conceal Combs' crimes. Combs caused these calls to be recorded on at least 2 occasions. You can't record someone's conversation without them knowing you know it. It's against the law in some states. The racketeering conspiracy. From at least in or about 2008 through on or about the date of the filing of this indictment in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Sean Coles, aka the defendant, and others known and unknown, being persons employed by and associated with the Combs enterprise, described in paragraph 6 through 12 of this indictment. We already went over it. An enterprise engaged in and the activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly combined, conspired, confederated, and agreed together and with each other to violate the racketeering laws of the United States, to wit, Title 18, United States Code, Section 1962. C, that is to conduct and participate directly and indirectly in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity, as that term is defined in Title 18, United States Code, Section 1961 and 1961-5, consisting of multiple acts involving kidnapping, chargeable under the following provisions of state law: California Penal Code 207, kidnapping; California Penal Code 21A, 64, attempted kidnapping; California Penal Code 31, aiding and abetting; and California Penal Code 182, conspiracy. So they're hitting Puff Daddy both coasts. Both coasts. Interstate trafficking. Interstate trafficking. Multiple acts involving arson, chargeable under the following provisions of state law: California Penal Code 451, arson; California Penal Code 21A, 64, attempt; California Penal Code 31, aiding and abetting; California Penal Code 182, conspiracy. Wow. Multiple acts involving bribery, chargeable under the following provisions of state law: California Penal Code 137A, bribery of a witness; California Penal Code 21A 64, attempt. California Penal Code 31, aiding and abetting. And California Penal Code 182, conspiracy. Multiple acts indictable under Title 18, United States Section 1512, relating to tampering with the witness, victim, or an informant. Multiple acts under Title 18, United States Sections 1589 and 2, relating to forced labor. Acts indictable under Title 18, United States Code Section 1591 and 2, related to sex trafficking. Multiple acts indictable under Title 18 United States Code Sections 2421, 2422, and 2, related to transportation and inducement to travel for purposes of prostitution and other illegal sexual activities. They're going to try to get him for pimping and pandering. Multiple offenses involving the possession with intent to distribute and or distribution of narcotics and controlled substances, including cocaine, oxycodone, alprazolam, 3,4 methamphetamines, some other type of methamphetamines, ketamine, hydroxybutyric acid, in violation of Title 21 United States Code Sections 84A, 1, B, 1C, B, 1E, B2, and 846. Distribution and possession with intent to distribute and conspiracy to do the same. And Title 18 United States Code Section 2, aiding, abetting, and willfully causing. It was part of the conspiracy that Sean Combs, the defendant, agreed that a conspirator would commit at least 2 acts of racketeering activity in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise. Wonder who that is, and that will possibly be a person that's going to get indicted. Because they have 2 acts of racketeering activity conspired by a conspirator under Puff Daddy supervision. Oh my God. Notice of special sentence factor. So basically, they want to give him elevated charges on top of the charges that they can go at with, mandatory sentencing guidelines. When you have escalators and special sentencing factors, they can add more years on top. From at least in or about 2009 up to including in or about 2018 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere as part of his agreement to conduct and participate in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. Sean Combs, the defendant, agreed to in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly recruit, entice, harbor, transport, provide, obtain, advertise, maintain, patronize, and solicit by any means a person knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion, as described in Title 18, United States Code Section 1591E2, and any combination of such means would be used to cause the person to engage in a commercial sex act in violation of Title 18, United States Code Section 1591A1 and B1. Got another count of sex trafficking by force and coercion. Then he has count 3, which is transportation to engage in prostitution. Then he has forfeiture allegations. Oh, we're going to read this. As a result of committing the offense alleged in count 1 of this indictment, Sean Combs, defendant shall forfeit to the United States pursuant of Title 18, United States Code Section 1963, and all other interests the defendant acquired or maintained in violation of Title 18, United States Code, Section 1962, and all other interests and securities of claims against and property of contractual right of any kind affording a source of influence over enterprise named and described here within, the defendant established, operated, controlled, conducted, and participated in the conduct of, in violation of Title 18 United States Code, Section 1962, and any and all property constituting and derived from proceeds obtained directly and indirectly. Said offense including but not limited to a sum of money in United States currency representing the amounts and proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense. They basically want to go all the way back to 2008 and take everything that he's acquired since 2008. Crazy that is. Stop right there and look at some of these comments, because this indictment is, they are, Puppy will either be broke and win this case or lose this case and lose everything, but it's free. Those three charges right there, man, guys, Lee, that's Puffy is in the fight for his life, fight for his freedom. YWG said, you smack your moms and that's a trip to hell. You smack your moms, man, that's deplorable. That's deplorable. I don't even think I could be around nobody that smack their moms. That's another level of disrespect. That's another level of disrespect. And basically, that's the end of the indictment. They want all of his property. They want all of his money. They want everything associated that was under the umbrella of Combs Enterprise. Wow. Wow. Coming up on 1 hour. Hit the like button. Share this video out. Subscribe to the channel. How y'all feel about that? They overreaching? Are they overreaching? Does Puffy deserve all this? Does he? They're going for everything. Daffy Speaks said, interesting fact, Melvin Earl Combs, the father and music producer, Puffy Combs, was Frank Lucas' driver. Much like Frank Lucas was Bumpy Johnson's driver at age 33, Melvin was shot to death. I've heard that story. I don't really speak too much on it, but I've heard that story, and I've heard some circumstances regarding why Puff Daddy's father was murdered, but yeah, I've heard that story. Daffy Speaks, Daffy Speaks. YWG said, I wonder if Jay-Z is pacing around the house. He has to be. Has to be. He has to be pacing around the house. He don't know nobody knows what's coming next because the way that they worded everything, you don't know who they're going after. I guess if you don't come and talk to the police, they coming after you. And maybe if they get enough information and the people keep coming, they tell them we don't need no more information. Should have came early. But Darkstar said they should be investigating Clive Davis too. To say Clive didn't, who's to say Clive didn't say Clive didn't, sacrifice Puffy for him. But I mean, he came out a couple years ago and said he was bisexual, so maybe that was his you know his embarrassment. That was his form of embarrassment to have to come out and write a book and say that he was bisexual when all along he's been saying that he liked women. You call it the ritual, the embarrassment ritual, where you don't have to do something, embarrass yourself in the public spirit. No, but he did come out a couple years ago and say that he was a bisexual man, Clive Davis. If Puff has been doing this in 2008, there's a long. That's a long. That's a long. That's why I said this is a indictment that could tear down the fabric of hip hop. But maybe it's a clean the house type thing because Puffy wasn't the only man that was participating in these, and they haven't named people yet. And that's what's ominous is they said known and unknown, which means we may have already reached out to you, and we may not have reached out to you. And that also depends on how far those tapes that Puffy has go back. They recorded over, or does he have tapes going all the way back to 2008, which would be wild. It's about to be a lot of snitching. It's about to be a lot of snitching. Your mention said Puff is 54. If he wants to see daylight, he got to snitch. I mean, but who is he gonna snitch on? What is he gonna snitch on about? Because they said, I mean, I've heard people say that Puffy is an informant. He's a federal informant. I've heard, yeah. So that's stuff that people have said. Gene Deal said. 15 years to life. What's that for kidnapping? I knew it was something to life. Thought it was 25, but 15, yeah. If you kidnapping that's a serious, yeah, that's a serious charge. Serious charge. Harris. Kamala Harris has been photoed in Puff Daddy's. Maybe that's why they raided that house to get them tapes out of there before she run for president. Hey, Jeanette, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you coming. I'll let you later. I'll be on Thursday. Come back Thursday. It's gonna be a different conversation. But you said early bird. Jay gonna be jumping every time the phone rings. I mean, I don't think it's just Jay-Z. It's a lot of people. They said that Puffy's gonna have to put up $1 million to secure bail. Dollars to secure bail. If he gets bail. Darkstar said Clive Davis has had his hands in things since the 60s. Yeah. Time ago. When Janis Joplin under Clive Davis? Shouts out to everybody that's watching on Twitch, Instagram, Facebook. Let's come to the time where y'all gotta come over here and join the conversation. Come on over to YouTube, join the conversation, subscribe to the page so you can get those notifications when I'm gonna be on YouTube. Yeah, so come over here. Because I'm about to cut Facebook off. Shouts out to everybody watching on Facebook. Shouts out to everybody watching on Twitch. Hey, come over here and join the conversation. Bail was denied. Oh, whoa. Bail was denied. Wow. I got to pull that up. Woo! Who did Puff Daddy make mad? They don't even want your 50 million. They don't even want his 50 million. Wow. Excuse me. And like CNN said, the first paragraph of the 3-count federal indictment against the music mogul lays out in an overarching summary the seriousness and sprawling allegations against him. Denied bail. Wow. I did not know that. Denied. They didn't want his 50 million. It's more to this RICO case than if they don't want your 50 million. What else they gonna find out? Because if they saying that everything under him was a criminal enterprise, what else are they gonna put out there? What else are they gonna put out there about Puff? No, I said I wasn't gonna play it, but we're gonna play it. Does this video constitute P. Diddy not getting constitute P. Diddy not getting back? Play this video. Disclaimer. This is the Cassie Puff Daddy video I'm going to show. And this is on CNN. So I'm not saying nothing that's not already.
New surveillance footage obtained exclusively by CNN appears to corroborate some of the allegations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs assaulting his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November last year and settled the next day referenced actions that seem to match those seen in this video. There is no audio. According to the complaint, Combs became extremely intoxicated intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye, which, according to the lawsuit, prompted Ventura to try and leave the hotel room. The surveillance video obtained by CNN begins as she enters the hallway. The complaint says as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. The complaint goes on to say he grabbed her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her. In the surveillance video, Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground. As Ventura lies on the ground, Combs then kicks her twice and attempts to drag her on the floor back to the hotel room. Ventura is seen picking up a hotel phone. Combs seems to walk back to the hotel room, then returns and appears to shove her in a corner. Moments later, he can be seen throwing an object in her direction. According to Ventura's now settled lawsuit, the pair began dating several years after they met in 2005. They parted ways in 2019. Combs' attorney said the decision to settle was in no way an admission of wrongdoing. Ventura declined to comment on the video, but her attorney told CNN the gut-wrenching video has only further confirmed the disturbing and predatory behavior of Mr. Combs. Words cannot express the courage and fortitude that Miss Ventura has shown in coming forward to bring this to light. The video hasn't been seen publicly before and comes on the heels of a series of civil lawsuits alleging Combs' involvement in sex trafficking and sexual abuse. Allegations Combs has repeatedly denied. In a December 2023 statement, Combs responded to the claims in all the lawsuits, saying, "Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged." 2 days after this video published exclusively on CNN, Combs issued an apology.
But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now.
That video is wild. That video is wild. But I forgot that video. So yeah, those are the artists that have worked under Clive Davis that have died from drugs and alcohol. Police, suicides, Janis Joplin, Mama Case, Hendrix, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse are all artists who were under Clive Davis. Met their demise in some untimely fashion. Nowhere we saying that Clive Davis had anything to do with any of this stuff, but if they gonna say Gucci Man got a hex, and I guess Clive Davis got a hex too, because people been dying since the 60s. Word on the street, she stole his clothes, check the bags. Stole whose clothes? You think so? For the feds to show up at his homes, someone made that call from inside the house. Oh, yeah. Can't forget Whitney Houston. Yeah. These are all people that had crazy under the tutelage of Cloud Baby. But Puff Daddy's got a crazy battle ahead of him. He's got a crazy battle ahead. Oh, you think Cassie had Puff Daddy's clothes in the bag? Maybe. But I think that video is enough to that video is enough for them to get a warrant in his house. And the allegations that she told them. I think that's what set everything off is the information that Cassie gave the FBI in the beginning about the tapes and freak offs and yeah, that was Cassie that set that in motion. Cassie that set that in motion. But let me look at the poll. Okay, we got 50-50 on Puff Daddy doing life in prison. So y'all saying that whoever this is don't really want to see Puffy go to jail, just want to see him lose everything. Because he's gonna lose everything in this case. They said he's paying 120 something $1,000 a week for his representation. So should Jay-Z be worried? Should anybody, should Farnsworth Bentley be worried? Should Justin Bieber be worried? Should be worried. Are they going to be called to testify against Puff Daddy? And if they did, what would are they going to call Bow Wow? I got to take this. Got to take this. So yeah, better just show up at your door. You're in. Yeah. Homeland Security is deeper than FBI. It's deeper. Homeland Security is That's like It's like Interpol showing up to your door. Because they're saying that, Interpol could possibly put a warrant out for Puff if they determine that he was taking people internationally for trafficking and for freak offs. Interpol could be coming to him. So it's not just a state and federal. You could get an Interpol warrant if they deemed that some of the stuff he did was international. That's wild. It's wild. Switch gears right here. We're going to switch gears for about 30 or 40 minutes to talk about Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. They're saying that Kamala Harris has a lot of momentum after the debate. Traction that she made during the debate, she gave it all right back in the first interview after the debate because she flip-flopped on everything she said during the debate. And I don't know, maybe it's a Freudian slip or I don't know. But what she said in the interview was counter to everything she said in the debate. And that's what people mean. Yeah, they said TD Jakes lawyered up. Not to, about the public. Yeah, they say TD Jakes lawyered up. Else maybe on those free. Power bottom. It's a new one. I still a power bottom. But Kamala Harris, everything good that she did in baiting Donald Trump into saying stupid stuff, she lost that momentum in the first interview outside of the debate. So, Kamala supporters, you can't deny that interview was terrible. And it kind of gave credence to the people who said that those earrings that she had on was earpieces. It kind of gives credence to that. Hope 50-50 tie on P. Diddy getting a life sentence from life. But this, in terms of candidates that the two parties are putting forward, this is by far the worst presidential candidate pool in my lifetime. In my lifetime. These two candidates they can't get from in front of themselves. And seems like people hell bent on trying to kill Donald Trump. It's the second time. No president, no former president has had two attempts on his life. No president and no past president has had two attempts on his life. Will the third time be the charm? Third time be the charm. Paris is a terrible interviewer. Yeah, she seems like if she ain't fed the information, you don't know what's gonna come out of her mouth. Just power bottom. I don't know what that is. Darkstar said they need to hide her in the basement like they do Joe. If she's gonna do interviews like that, because she is counterproductive to herself. And they can't, I mean, you can't argue. You can't argue that interview that she did following the debate, all the good stuff that she did in the debate to kind of spring herself in position, she didn't even last 12 hours before she kicked herself in the ass. So this is one of those elections where people are gonna, you're gonna have Democrats that are gonna vote Democrat, and you're gonna have Republicans that are gonna vote Republican because they're gonna stay with their party. But these two candidates, something to be desired. I was having a conversation with my mother about the election. And I told my mom asked me who I was going to vote for. I said, I really don't know. I don't know who I'm vote for. She said, how don't you know? And I was like, I don't know. But I was like, I said, I'm kind of leaning to vote for Cornel West. My mother looked at me with disdain in her eye. My mother said, I could hear, we were on the phone talking. And I could see the look on my mother's face by the tone of her voice. And for my mother to tell me, you shouldn't even go vote, that was crazy. Because my mother does not play about voting. When I told her that I had a choice, that there was a chance that I could vote for Cornel West, she told me, don't even go vote. My mom is on this stuff on this kick where if you're not voting Democrat, then just don't vote. If you're not voting Democrat, then just don't vote. And I was like, for real? Seems like it don't count. She's like, you voting for somebody that you know is gonna lose. I was like, well, I'm voting for the person that's speaking to me. And I said, neither one of the candidates is running. I said, they haven't said anything. I've heard it's beneficial for me. And she just scoffed at me. Scoffed at me. And said, don't even vote. About angry woman Angela Ham on Ride. Crazy going after Jill. Jill is for the black agenda on paper. Right. 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 People not listening to Jill Stein. Jill Stein and Cornel West have platforms that they're running on. Whew. That's you think. So yeah, have agendas. They have agendas. You ask them what their platform is, they can tell you. They can spit out tell you what the platform is based off of. That is better than either one of Trump or Harris are doing. They're just still. This is an election of sound bites. Because the sound bite ever since the debate has been, they're eating pets. That has been the blurb. That is what Kamala Harris talked Donald Trump into saying. They're eating cats. They're eating dogs. They're eating geese. Migratory geese. Well, if they coming from another country, they don't know nothing about their migratory birds. Independents need to get a big bump. We need a third party. Third party. Because neither one of these candidates, has had anything that's really it's really stood out to me. I mean, eating pets, it kind of stands out. And then his vice president came out and doubled down on it. They're eating pets. The immigrants. And those people that are in Ohio, they aren't immigrants. They aren't migrants. They're immigrants. These people came here legally. They have jobs. They're not staying in a 5-star hotel for free and getting $1,000 a month for food stamps and then a check for $600 a month on cash. They're not even doing that for veterans that are on the street. Now, you can say what you want to say, but they're not. America first. Americans before you help anybody else. Got homeless veterans that are homeless. And then we got migrants staying in 5-star hotels. How you doing tonight, brother? Make that make sense. Have homeless veterans who have to panhandle for money. Have migrants that just got here, ain't never paid taxes. And they're staying in 5-star hotels. They're getting a $600 check each month, cash. And they're getting upwards of $1,000 a month food stamps. We have people working that are struggling that pay taxes. Should get a big bump. Jill Stein should get a big bump just off the interview that she did. Jill Stein's interview, in contrast to Kamala Harris's interview. And tell me who made better sense. Jill Stein or Kamala Harris? And I'm going to say Jill Stein. I'm going to say Jill Stein. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. I'm going to say Jill Stein. And my mind just went blank. Cornel West. They may not have the public support that Kamala and Trump have, but you can't tell me that they aren't better candidates. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that Jill Stein, and Cornel West are not better candidates than either Kamala who's around both of them. Both of them. But they're not in the, the Republicans don't want to talk to them. The Democrats don't want to talk to them. But that shouldn't matter. Who is the best candidate should matter. Aren't they forcing RFK to stay on the ballot? And that he dropped out the race, but they're making him stay on the. If he dropped out of the race, how can he be on a ballot? He dropped out the race. He shouldn't be on no ballot. He shouldn't be on no. Caps, good evening, good evening. Hit the like button, hit the like button. Why aren't Americans doing those jobs? So, exactly. We don't have to write him in, Terrence. If we want to vote for Dr. West, he's on the ballot. He's one of the five. He's one of the five candidates. Kamala Harris, Jill Stein, Donald Trump, Cornel West, and Chase something. Chase, I can't think of Chase's name, his last name, but Chase, the younger guy. Jill Stein's interview, and they're not even pubbing it up. They're not even giving it any publicity, but that interview is what people need to do. Vote feelings, not policy. And the Democrats have a proven game plan to get black people in their feelings around election time and to not ask for any concessions and to just take the status quo and don't get nothing. No. Saying it, and but when it comes to black men, nobody really cares about our opinion anyway. What they don't understand is there's a lot of black men, that are not going to vote for Kamala Harris. They don't understand this. Or maybe they're just trying to turn a blind eye to it. Because, like I said, nobody cares what a black man thinks about. But black men are one of the highest one of the highest demographics of people who vote. Black men that are not going to vote for Kamala Harris because she does not have a platform. The last thing black men remember about Kamala Harris is she locked up a lot of black men. That was her claim to fame. That was the claim to fame that she used to become Joe Biden's running mate. And people were just acting like they forgot that. She ran on the platform of that bill. That's how she became Joe Biden's running mate. She utilized his legislation better than anybody. People don't understand that. Some of she's going to do. She's going to do to. What is she going to do to get not just black men, but what is she going to do to get disgruntled Democratic voters on board with her. And when I say disgruntled, there's a lot of white people, but it's a lot of black people that are disgruntled with the Democratic Party. Talk about it, but I would play the I would, yeah. I would play the Jill Stein interview. She was on Breakfast Club. But if I play them, they might not, they might flag me. They might flag me. I'll give them a shout out to the Breakfast Club. But if you have not had a chance to listen to Jill Stein when she was on the Breakfast Club, go look at that video after my show. After my show. Go look at that video. If you haven't seen that video, go look at that video. And listen to her talk, and then you'll understand what I mean by she has a platform. She has something that she's running on. Donald Trump has already said that he doesn't have a platform. And Kamala Harris, we don't know what her platform is because she says one thing and then she says something else. People can say what they want to say and say you nitpicking or whatever. No, but no, you're supposed to nitpick. It's election time. If you don't nitpick now, when are you gonna nitpick? So I listen to everything. I take every word into account. IWG said he didn't drop out. He dropped out of the swing states to help Trump. Wow. Got people conspiring against Kamala. He didn't drop out the race. He dropped out the swing states. How can you pick and choose what states you don't want to be on the ballot? If you're running for president, you're on every ballot. Or you drop out, you're all not on no ballots. What type of sorcery is this? I'm not dropping out. I'm just gonna drop out of swing states. I'm gonna drop out of the swing states and we're gonna try to help Donald Trump. We're gonna try to help black people. We're gonna drop out of the swing states. Man, get out of here. Either you win the race or you aren't in the race. That's like gerrymandering. That's like how they do black people. They redistrict us, cut this up. We're gonna have this section of black people. They're gonna be in this section. We're gonna cut this up over here and disenfranchise our vote. Large populations of black people, if it's the inner city, they'll leave everybody in that zip code because this is where all the bad stuff happens. But if you have a large population of black people that aren't basically inner city, they're gonna divvy up them numbers because they want some of them middle class to upper class black people in their voting district. Got a new poll, y'all. I got a poll. The poll is it for a third question is it time for a third party candidate to be viable? Can one of these independent candidates pull off a serious upset, or is it out of the realm? There's no way. I mean, Is there anything that either one of these candidates could do that could push a lot of voters to independent candidates? Yes, exactly, Terrence. That's what I'm saying. Jill Stein is, I'm one of the people that, if we get reparations, I'll accept it, but I'm not waiting on that. But she has a platform. If black people would listen to Jill Stein, you would understand some of the things you need to tell these other candidates to do for you. Jill Stein is pro reparation. Pro reparation. Pretty sure that Cornel West is pro reparations as well. But Jill Stein has came out and said that black people getting reparations is a part of her platform. Part of her platform. YWG said other candidates running. Claudia De La Cruz, Sheba. Are those write-in candidates? Because there's only, Chase Oliver. They said that there's 5. When I looked on CNN, NPR, the 5 candidates were Chase Oliver, Jill, Cornell, Kamala, and Trump. Now, these other people, I guess these are write-ins, people that you have to write in because they're not on every ballot. But the 5 candidates that I told you, Chase, Jill, Cornell, Trump, Kamala, they're on every ballot. They're on all ballots. 10 people that have answered the poll that said it's time for a third party candidate. Could the Green and the Libertarian Party come together as one independent party and Jill be vice president, Cornell be president, or vice versa? Would that help? Would that help if the Green Party and the Libertarian Party combine to be that third party? Wow. It's up to the states to determine who was on. Oh, okay. Jill is pro reparations. Yeah. She's the only candidate that's running on pro reparations. And Cornel West. I'm so sick of vote blue, no matter who. It sounds like a nursery rhyme. It's supposed to be a nursery rhyme because it caters to lower level people's senses. Whenever they want to get some black people, they put a jingle in it. Come on, man. That's why all these commercials got rap jingles. Because they know, they cater to least common denominator. What you should. I agree with that. And that's why they have a whole lot of disgruntled people that are looking at independent candidates and also looking at the Republicans. And until they do something about that, I can say whatever, but come election night, man, I hate to say it, but I see Kamala losing in a landslide. We ain't had a landslide since Walter Mondale, but I can see Kamala Harris losing in a landslide. When them Walter Mondale landslides, when it's 9 o'clock and they're like, we're just gonna go ahead and call this official. All the votes are not tallied in, but it's overwhelmingly that Mondale's not gonna come back. I can see that happening for Kamala. If y'all remember how Walter Mondale was 9 o'clock, they was already saying this race is over. Terrible showing. Mitchell, you voted for who twice? And Mitchell, Angela Yee ain't on the Breakfast Club no more. Angela Yee got her own show. She left them. It's just, yeah, it's just Charlemagne and the light skinned dude. I forgot his name. DJ Envy. DJ ENV. DJ Envy. Darkstar said, look at the money spent on Ukraine, Israel, and illegals. We would have had reparations already. There was no fight. Especially Ukraine. Oh. I mean, his Zelensky's little pep in his step his pep got a little bit tougher. Once he had that money, he was coming out all meek. We have no money. We need help. We got the listen coming out that bad boy with his little boots and his little military suit. Got the millions now. Got a different swag. He's asking for more money. Man, what more do you want, man? We didn't give you money. We didn't gave you arms. We didn't gave you tanks, planes, food, and money. What else can we do for Ukraine? What are we going to do for America? That's what I say to people. Let's look at the exit polls, right? I keep telling people, man, I can see Kamala Harris losing in a landslide. I hate to say it. But I can see Walter Mondale, yeah, landslide. Democrats need to lose the next 4 elections. Maybe then black folks may get what is owed. I don't know. I don't know if the Republicans go. A Republican senator tried to get the reparations bill on the docket, and they blocked. A Republican senator tried to bring the reparations bill to the floor, and they blocked. Darkstar, hold on. You know what, Darkstar? I'm gonna put the call-in number out because I want to. Darkstar, if I put the link up, I'm gonna put the link up because a lot of people say that Kamala is the worst VP of all time, but what are you supposed to do? You don't have to cut your camera on, Darkstar, but I want you to come up here and tell us the Black Caucus blocked the Republican senator. And that's these people that y'all want, man, this Congressional Black Caucus blocked the Republican senator that was bringing the reparations bill to the floor. Exactly. Ukraine is all money. They've said that's some money that it's not accounted for. They don't know what happened. $250 million or something like that. The Black Caucus blocked it. And Mitchell said Gavin is a snake, and he would have blocked the. They did block the bill. The Republican senator tried to bring the reparations bill to the floor to have it voted on. They blocked it. Straight up blocked it. No, we're not doing that. And it was the Democrats that did it. Democrats that blocked the Republican senator from bringing the reparations bill. Explaining to do. Explain it to me. Said that Kamala's the worst. I want Dark Star to tell us why. I want Dark Star to tell us why. Why is Kamala? Because I that's one of the prevailing arguments, and I mean, I'm not for Kamala, but I don't get that argument. So I want Dark Star to come on, Dark Star. Black Caucus did it to take a bullet for Gavin. My mother told me I was conservative. I was like, I am conservative, but I'm not a Republican. I was like, we always been black people have always been conservative. So, with anything, some liberal viewpoints, but I have conservative leanings. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. What are the Democrats going to do? What can the Republic? What are the Democrats going to do to try to seize control of this race? And what are the Republicans going to do to try to Donald Trump from putting his foot in his mouth? And when we were doing the live debate watch show, we said that she was going to bait him into saying something that was going to be a news item. And what'd he do? Let go and just move on to the next point. He got mad, and that's when he started talking about eating the pets. And that's the reason why Kamala Harris is in the lead right now, because people can't believe that this dude said that. And then his VP doubled down on it. And people are like, this dude is crazy. AKA P. Diddy, AKA Diddy, AKA PD. Uphill battle fight. He's in an uphill battle in the fight for his freedom. He offered $50 million as collateral for bail. They denied him. Probably one of the reasons they denied him is they're like, we're going to take it anyway. But Puff Daddy's in the fight for his life. And it's not just Puff Daddy. All under the umbrella. Employees, housekeepers, security personnel. They're going to make these people snitch on him. They're going to make these people snitch on him. So get ready. It's going to be a wild ride. It's going to be a wild ride. It's going to be a wild, wild ride. And hopefully they're going to let Puffy say that he wants to start trial immediately, and he wants a speedy trial, because that will help him. Whatever little bit of money he got left, that will help him save some of it. If they can, get it pushed up, get a speedy trial. But If they deny his bail, I think somebody wants Puffy to sit for about 90 days. We're going to see how long he sits. We're going to see how long he sits. We're going to see how long he sits. And then we talked about Kamala and Trump and the third party. We put a poll out that said, do you think it's time for a third party to have a viable candidate? And we all agreed 100%. But like I said, I think it's going to take the libertarian and the Green Party to come to some sort of concessions and come together. Because I think they both have some of the same philosophies, but they may just be in different areas. But I think that if the Green Party and the Libertarian Party were to come together and see if they could put their views together, I think that would be a viable party. Because I would vote for either vice president or I would vote for Cornel West, Jill Stein ticket. I think a lot of people would. Especially with the candidates that we have right now. This is the worst in terms of presidential candidates in my life. And, these exit polls and these polls that they keep putting out, they're saying that Kamala Harris is neck and neck and she's in pulled ahead. I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of different types of YouTube. And one of the prevailing things that I see over and over is on none of these polls that I see on YouTube does Kamala Harris win. Usually it's like 65% for Donald Trump and 30 to 35% for Kamala Harris. I've never seen a poll on YouTube done where Kamala Harris won. None. And that's why I have my basis of I can see Kamala Harris losing in a landslide. I can see her losing a landslide. Like I said, Walter Mondale type numbers. I can see it happening. Walter Mondale was all confident. I wonder how many years ago it was that Walter Mondale got landslid. There was high confidence in his campaign. I forgot who, he was most definitely going to win the election and yeah, 9:00 there, Francis. It's 9:00 and we're going to call the election. It's not allowing just audio. Hold on. Before I get off, hold on. Oh man, I want to hear you, Dark Star. Okay. Here you go. You're gonna call in. I'm gonna give you the floor. Why Kamala Harris is the worst candidate of all time. Because, like I always say, when I hear people say the argument that Kamala Harris is the worst VP candidate of all time, I always say, well, what is she supposed to do? She doesn't go to the same places as the president. They can never be in the same area. They can never be on the same plane. He goes to back up him when he can't appear somewhere. And what else is she supposed to do? I'm missing something. Now, there are other vice presidents that have, different campaigns. But like I said, the last strong VP that we had was Dick Cheney. I don't think you can, other than Dick Cheney, what has any VP done? A lot of people said Dick Cheney was the de facto president. So the last strong vice president we had was Dick Cheney. What is a VP supposed to do? After Dick Cheney got out of office, he went hunting with some dude that said something crazy to him while he was in Congress, and he shot the dude on the hunting trip and said it was an accident. You tell me what's gangster. My thing is you said some crazy stuff to Dick Cheney, and you already seen how Dick Cheney is. Now you gonna go around this man and he got a hunting rifle in his hand? Yeah, and he got shot. I was an accident. I didn't see the orange on his. He didn't have his orange vest on. Wow. Dick Cheney didn't play. Now, as strong VP other than Dick Cheney. Rich off war, and that's what I tell people. Halliburton, Black Rock, that was Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney was VP, and his companies were the security forces. And that's why they was able to go over there with impunity and plow, plow, bing, bing. And wasn't nothing going to happen to them because that was Dick Cheney's companies. Am I right, Terrence? Am I right? Dick Cheney was the last strong VP. Hands down. It's not even a contest. It's not even a contest. There's no VP in the last 30, 40 years that has had as much power as Dick Cheney. So my thing is what is Kamala Harris supposed to do as a VP? Didn't really have anything that she was really working on. She was just backing up Joe, being where Joe wasn't going to be. There's a couple funerals that she went to that Joe couldn't make it and she had to go, but they can never be in the same, unless it's at the White House. They can never be in the same plane, space. What's she? Y'all. Come on, y'all. Yeah. Like I said, neither Trump nor Kamala have a platform. If you all really want to hear a speech from a candidate that has a platform and can speak to what she wants to do when she gets in office, listen to the Jill Stein interview on the Breakfast Club. And that is a person that has a platform they're running on and can speak to what they want to do when they get in office. Not these blurbs and I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's like I said, the two main candidates are less to be desired. Wish we really had a strong. I mean, we do. We have two strong independent candidates, Jill Stein and Cornel West, but they're not going to get a. They're not going to get a fair shake. That's one thing that we talked about. Is it time for a third-party candidate to be viable? And I say absolutely. It's absolutely time. This is the year where we need a strong third candidate. Because the two candidates that we have that are supposed to be strong candidates are terrible. You got one lady who says one thing and gets the favor of the people in the debate. 15 minutes after the debate's over, she flip-flops on everything that she said in the debate, in the interview, first interview after the debate. And then you got another candidate who's talking about they're eating pets. They're eating cats. You couldn't make this up. The Simpsons couldn't make this up. And the Simpsons predict everything. And the Simpsons couldn't make this up. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Perfect world, we would have two good candidates that would be running against each other, that would have platforms based off policy and not platforms based off feelings. But we don't have that. We got one on this side that Kamala, she's pandering to people that she's a black woman, and she's not a black woman. She's an Indian. But she's gonna let all these people say the first black female. No, but she's not gonna come out and say anything. During the debate, they asked her about that. She deflected and she didn't answer the question. Because if she comes out and says, no, I'm not black, I'm Indian, that goes against all the hopes that these black people have of having the first woman black. They don't want that. Now, there's nothing wrong with her not being a black woman. She's a minority. She can be the first minority female president. But to run on a false pretense that she's a black woman is like a slap in black people's face. I know my mother and my aunt are going to be mad at me for saying that, but it is. She's not a black lady. She's a minority. And there's nothing wrong with her not being black. But to run off the false pretense and the emotional intelligence of black people say the first black female presidential candidate is wrong. What they want to say about me, but it's wrong. Minority. And there's nothing wrong with being a minority. There's nothing, I'm a minority. But keep on parading this lady out here like, man, and the people who understand it know that it's not genuine. Understand it, know it's not genuine. But instead of being genuine, they're gonna let the crusaders and the fighters argue amongst the black people to say it doesn't matter. She is a black woman. It doesn't. And no, she's not. Get caught up in your feelings. Emotional intelligence. Wrong with her being a minority, and there's nothing wrong with her not being black. But to parade her in front of real thinking people to say that this lady is a black lady, it makes you look disingenuous. And that is why a lot of people ain't messing with the Democratic Party. Because it's like, you just gonna keep telling us that this is a black lady, and we know that ain't a black lady. But we're wrong. No, it ain't wrong. Crazy, ain't it? I said something the other day, people got mad at me. To me, Kamala Harris is the new Rachel Dolezal. Dolezal. She's Rachel Dolezal. Dolezal. Y'all know who I'm talking about. That's who Kamala Harris is, Rachel Dolezal. I know what I'm talking about. Quit playing with me. Quit playing with us. We ain't no fools. My mama didn't raise no fool. Now she mad. She didn't raise no fool, but she mad because, yeah. She washed her greens in the tub. That tell you enough right there. Washed her greens in the tub. We got Dark Star up here. She gonna tell us what it is about Kamala. And I'm gonna sit back. Hey, Dark Star, what's going on? What's going on with you? Oh no. It doesn't even have, yeah, it does, you don't have a microphone, Dark Star. I don't even have a dial to, it's saying that your microphone's not linked in with your camera. We're gonna see if Dark Star can get her mic to working, but yeah. Kamala Harris is a new Rachel Dolezal. Dolezal. Y'all know, man. How do I pronounce it? Hold on. Rachel Dolezal. Rachel Dolezal. Yeah. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Rachel Dolezal. That's who Kamala Harris is. That's the way I look at it. My eyes. All the time. You're not going. And that's what I mean by disgruntled. Democratic folks. You gonna put this in my face and tell me that's what this lady is, and we know this lady ain't. And then you're gonna have your minions argue everybody down that she is. And then the minions, they supposed to drown out the people who really say, no, let's be real with us. But you got your minions who are going to go along with this BS. Nothing to some of us. Minions can't do something to all of us. Somebody tells me and what I see in my face, you can't. My thing is why did they even come out on that type of platform? Because they're going for people's heartstrings. Black people see a candidate up there and they think that this person is if black people see a candidate up there and the person they can connect with because they say first black woman, they are pandering to your senses. Your lowest common, the lowest bit of emotional intelligence that you're catering to that. Emotional heartstrings. And my thing is I'm not going for that. I want to hear policy. A lot of black people don't even talk policy. You ask a black person about policy and 7 times out of 10, they're not going to be able to talk to you about no policy. I'm not discrediting black people, but You need to do a little bit more reading up on candidates, and not just what you get spoon fed by these alphabet television stations. I don't want the television station telling me nothing. Let me do my own research. Let me look it up, and I'm gonna make my own educated decision. Because these television stations, so it's just like when the news come on, they put the worst, they put the murders and the robbers and they put everything because they want you to they want you to be looking in a certain lens when you look at the rest of the news. That's why they start the news out with the worst and not the best. Because if you show people in a good light and then you try to show something at the end, it doesn't have a lasting effect. But if I show you the bad stuff at the beginning, you may not even make it to watch the end to see the good stuff because you're so disgusted by these stereotypes that you get fed on a daily basis. Know they can control the general public with different. They already know how to control the general public, the sheep of the general public. And I'm not calling people sheep, but I'm just saying they know that these people aren't reading up on the candidates. They're just going to go with what they hear on TV. They're not going to do their own research. And that's a terrible thing. That's a terrible thing. But it's another Tuesday. Thought provoking, adult conversation. I enjoyed Star on here. The microphone wasn't working. We're gonna get Dark Star pretty sooner or later because I love some of the comments that Dark Star says, and I want to hear Dark Star, but yeah, $1 million couldn't get Puff Daddy out of jail, and they didn't clear up anything. It seems like the political arena is muddier after the debate. I think we're in a worse state of who could be a candidate than we were before the debate. Because the debate had a baseline, and the baseline for Trump was real low. Some of the stuff he said, and Kamala set the bar high for herself with the good marks that she got on during the debate. 30 minutes after the 15 minutes, 30 minutes after the debate, she had an interview and she chopped her knees off. So, will there be a rebound? Will one of these third candidates step up and become viable? Can Cornel West or Jill Stein can they actually make a difference in this election? As we get closer to the election, we are doing this so people to make an informed decision on who they vote for. I don't know who I'm voting for yet because I haven't heard anything. And I start to hear things then, but the thing about it is the longer that I don't hear anything, it pushes me to the people that may have a smaller voice, but they may have a better plan. 5 years ago, Diddy was the spokesperson for the Democrats, vote or die. If you don't look at that as some type of catering to your lowest sense, I don't know what it is, vote or die. I didn't like that. I didn't necessarily care for that campaign slogan. I didn't. Because that made it look like if you don't vote for the Democrats, you're gonna die. Man, man, you can't tell me that. You can't tell me that. But it's Tuesday. We got through another show. Everybody stay safe. Love all y'all. It's your boy Mass Bill.